So we understand that having a connection, anybody having a connection with Tony Blair is not good. It is not good for the direction this country needs to go in, for the protection my child needs in the future. We're clear on that. You know, UKIP or all the political parties are clear on that, apart from Reform, obviously, now we found out. Hello, Keith. Welcome in. So basically what I'm saying to you guys is this is how I see what's going on. Now, I want you to stop commenting. Like, if you are just in, you can say hello, but please pay attention to this one bit. This is how I've come to this conclusion logically, guys, and it's really worrying. Now, we see Reform are pushing out all the right wing. Okay, they're pushing out all the right wing and they're wanting to go the centrist way. Now, when you're in the centre, you're going left. There's no two ways about it. You can't go in the centre and stay in the centre in this country and be political and be strong and run for Prime Minister. It's never going to happen. Okay, you have to go left. The Tories tried it. You've seen that they went left. So we know Reform are definitely going to go left. Now, this is what's concerning. When we get to 4 years' time, we're going to have UKIP, Homeland, and a few other parties already splitting our vote up. You understand? Now, I do believe that these parties will come together at the crunch when we need to, and they will form one political party. Okay? But I still don't think that is enough. The reason why I don't think that is enough is because of what Reform was doing and the direction they're going. They've threw a fishing line out, they've hooked in a lot of patriots, and they've now got them on board. You can't talk to them, they won't see sense, they don't want to hear nothing bad about Nigel Farage, and they're going to follow him blindly. So that's a percentage of our patriots that are going to follow Reform and Nigel Farage blindly. When it comes to the crunch and we're up for it, when we're up for voting, this is exactly what's going to happen. All the far left and all the Muslims in this country and all foreigners are going to vote for Reform. Now, you may think, no chance. Believe you me, it's going to happen. If that is the only option to stop the right-wing politics of Great Britain coming to fruition, when you hear people like UKIP and their policies and how strong and hard and determined they are, please believe me. But when they're going to be faced with that, with the chance of them no longer being able to stay here illegally and do whatever they want and claim whatever they want and commit crimes and get back out of jail with a flat and money and all the rest of it, once people start realising that that's going to be taken away from them, they will vote for Reform. So when Nigel says we need to take them with us, that is what he's talking about. In 4 years, Reform will be Labour, 110%. Because when you take somebody with you, you can't just use them. They're going to be part of Reform. When they vote for Reform, they will be voting for Reform's policies, and Reform will go along down that road. There's no two ways about it. I'm trying to be very careful with my words. This is my opinions for entertainment and educational purposes only. It's my opinions of what I see logically as a child growing up in children's homes, as a young man growing up in prison, and then finding my way through life and dealing with social work, dealing with probation, dealing with the parole board, dealing with mental health, dealing with everything to do with the government, and many, many prime ministers, okay, first-hand dealing with them. I was a ward of court. They were my mummies and daddy when my mama died. They were the ones that were responsible for me. My life went wrong when they took over. Big time wrong, you know? And so yeah, I've got a bit of experience and I've got a wee bit of knowledge of who the victims are, who normally suffers. It's working class, it's kids from broken families, it's vulnerable children, as you see over and over again from the 50s to the 60s to the 70s, when it was the working class kids getting taken out of children's homes by people like Jimmy Savile, to the day where the kids are exactly the same, but the predators are totally different. It's never going to change. It's always going to be our most vulnerable kids in children's homes every single time. Because there's nobody, they don't have a voice, they don't have parents, they don't have uncles, brothers, sisters, aunties, nothing. They're on their own. They rely on the government and the police to look after them. And the government and the police, just like they failed me, they failed them. And I'm talking 70s and 80s, right? That's when I got failed. And here we are today, 2025, and they're still failing the kids. Right-wing commentators and political-minded people who they're not going in the same direction as Reform. Reform are going in a direction where they're going to target the exact same people who Labour are targeting. Because there's going to be no Labour, there's going to be no Conservatives, there's going to be a lot of people homeless, and Reform have now worked that out. That rather than put the faith in us and afraid of losing it for whatever reason, they're now going to turn their backs on us and put their faith in the same people that Labour are putting their faith into right now. When it comes to it, and it comes to a vote, remember, Labour are not going to be in the race. I'm telling you now, there's going to be a split between patriots, and it's going to be Reform and a big party like UKIP or Homeland or a new party. I don't know. I haven't got a crystal ball. But I know for sure that when it comes to it, for survival of our country and the survival of our children, they will come together. But Reform won't. Reform are going to go out on their own, and they're targeting their own voting base because they've now lost the patriots, the true patriots of this country, and they know that. So there's no going back. The road they've taken is like that. Yeah, it's like that, guys. There's no coming back up that hill. You've got to understand that, right? So that's all I'm going to say about that. That's what I'm taking from now on, because I now see the connection, the way Nigel Farage gets on with Starmer, the way Nigel Farage is getting on with Tony Blair. It's making more sense. He's friendly with the people that we are seeing doing the most damage, and he's pushing the people that are trying to help us. He's pushing them out. That's what I see as a guy in working class areas. Everybody around me, all my friends, but we're on the phones talking about it. I'm running past lots of people, and they're all saying the exact same thing. It's like the penny has dropped. This is what it's like. The penny has dropped for me, you know. Yeah, and when he said, and he's already told you all this. He's told you, he hasn't hid it. He's been open and honest with you, you know, with all his.